Hey guys, hope you guys are doing well today. Thank you so much for tuning in into the Inspo podcast by Insporeum Network. For those of you who don't know, my name is Rizq and I am the founder of Insporeum Network. So Insporeum Network is an entertainment media network for professionals. And Inspo podcast is one of the pillar content that we have here on this channel. On this podcast, we have upcoming talents, upcoming creators, entrepreneurs, personalities and athletes to share their perspectives, to share their thoughts, to share their insights about their respective industries and how we can understand it better and how it will be helpful for us in our future. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the podcast and I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back guys to the second episode of the Inspo podcast, and today joining me is Wan Alman from Good Vibes Festival and Futuresound Asia.
Hi Rizq, thanks for having me on.
A lot of us don't know what goes on behind putting out the biggest music festival in Malaysia right now. Is it the biggest? Do you think it's the biggest?
I think it's the biggest of its kind, for sure. I mean, if you're talking about just like contemporary, like modern international music, it's probably the biggest, I think. Yep.
If it's in general?
I don't know, maybe like, like the huge like Jom Hebo and stuff like,
Oh, right.
Events like that, which are more targeted towards the mass market, are probably bigger in terms of crowd size.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. With music going on in the rise, and a lot of musicians are coming out with a lot more tools and tech coming up very easily and accessible to a lot of people. What do you think about like Malaysia's music scene currently?
I think Malaysia has like a blooming like music scene. I think there's so much talent in Malaysia. Definitely like every year that when I try to curate acts for Good Vibes, I'm spoiled for talent actually. Like there's so many good acts that I would love to put on. The Malaysian scene has grown in leaps and bounds from what it used to be last time, and with like the advent of like streaming technologies and like nowadays like you don't really even need to be signed to a label. I mean, you have stuff, you can just put it out online, and it can build your fan base. So I think that's been very good for the industry, and yeah, I mean, it's cool. There's a lot of good acts.
How's the process like choosing acts to bring on to the festival?
It's always a fine balance between what I like, what like we as the Good Vibes brand, what we want, and also what people want. So obviously I can't just really choose like what I personally like and put on lineup, and I'm not even considered in our like target demographic anymore. So yeah, we keep abreast of like current trends, what's hot, what's cool in the music scene globally and locally. And locally, I also try to find acts that I feel really good and deserving of a bigger platform, and I book them for the festival.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you have like a certain requirement for like numbers or followings?
Not per se. So we don't actually choose acts based on like social media following or whatever. As long as you're good, you deserve a bigger platform, and you have original songs. So obviously we're not gonna choose like a cover band, who just plays other people's covers, or like a pop band. So you also have to be an artist and musician in your own right. You have to have your own songs, and it would be also good if you already have like an album release or an EP release, so you have like at least enough material to play live, and to cover like one set. Yeah.
What about international acts? Like how do you choose, and how is the process like bringing them over here to this country?
So international acts, so obviously, as with anything in the world, firstly we have to decide our budget.
Correct.
So the price of acts are like, it's really crazy. It's like really increasing year by year.
So currency really affects also?
Currency affects it, and also it's also because of the whole like streaming thing, the Spotify thing. So like once like everyone's now using Spotify, so everyone just listens to music for free basically. So artists no longer can get revenue from selling CDs or selling albums, for example. So their main source of revenue now is touring. so touring, shows, and also merchandise to a lesser extent. So that in turn like drives up the fees for the performance fees, the show fees. So first we determine our budget, and then we choose our headliners, the biggest headliners. So like a big chunk of the budget goes to like your headliners, and then we choose the mid tier, the lower tier acts, mostly based on budget, and also we look at festivals around the world, who's playing festivals around the world. We try to choose the most current acts right now. I mean, I remember when I was younger, it was like way back, usually the acts that would come to Malaysia are only acts that were probably cool 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So Malaysia was always a bit late in that respect. But so now what we try to do is we want to get acts that people are listening to right now. But of course, when you want the most current acts, the biggest acts, their fees are also the highest. Right. So it's always a balance. You want a huge act, but you don't want to spend too much money on your headliner, so because you need money for all the other acts as well. Yeah.
So this also in turn affect the prices of the ticket.
Yes. So
because I think a lot of people are complaining, why the prices going?
Yeah, that's true. So I think interestingly, I think last year, or was it maybe early this year, there was this, I think, Thai music publication. They had a comparison of all the music festivals, most of the music festivals around the world and in the region as well. So Good Vibes Festival, actually our tickets are the lowest, which is also by design, because we do understand that Malaysians' purchasing power is probably not as strong as, for example, Singapore. So we try to keep prices as low as we can. But we also need to charge that price because we need to get we need to pay the artist, right? Basically. So you also have fans who on the one hand say that tickets are so expensive, but on the other hand say that we want Drake and stuff like that. If we get Drake, you're probably going to pay 2 to 3 times more than the price of the ticket right now. So just to give you an example, even the lowest tier international artists, this is maybe Petit Biscuit, for example, they would already probably cost around 80 to 100,000 ringgit. So that's
for an hour act.
For an hour set. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's just their fees, not including hotels and transport and stuff. So, and that's the lowest tier. So the headliners will cost anywhere from 500,000 to 1 million ringgit fees only. And then we have multiplied that by 20x. So that's a lot. And then you have the cost of operating the festival. So all those costs build up. People might think that Good Festival, you're making money hand over fist, you're charging so much, but we're actually not. We actually only started making money probably the last 2 years or so. So the first 4 or 5 years, I think
when you guys started with 1 days and whatnot.
Yeah, 1 day. So the first 4 years, we were not making money at all, and in fact, we were incurring losses for the first few years. Yeah. But yeah, we just persevered and stuck through it, which I understand not a lot of people or brands have the luxury to do. Once you do it twice, 3 times, you still don't make money. A lot of people probably give up, throw in the towel. But I think luckily for us, I think we did see value in just pushing through it. Yeah.
Right. Say you said earlier 80,000 to 100,000, right? That doesn't include their approval or permits to play here, right? That's just for them to play.
Yeah, that's
so
their fee.
When you incur all of those other additionals, it will cost a lot more.
Yeah,
right?
a lot more. You have to pay for the permits to bring the artists in, and of course all the hotels, food, transport,
hospitality
stuff. Yeah.
Right. Okay. With the currency rising every year, and then you also don't see a lot of music festivals here in Malaysia. But you only from what I know, and commercially is out there, Rockaway from Livescape and Good Vibes and all and other stuff are just the smaller shows in between, right? How tough is it to organize a music festival here in Malaysia?
I'm not gonna lie, it is tough. I wouldn't say it's gotten easier, but I would say that we've done it at this point so many times that it's definitely manageable. But it is also it's still definitely a challenge every year. And for example, with permits, it's not we get an automatic permit every year. So every year it's still certain things like we have to fight for, and like maybe like certain acts that for example the authorities not really keen on, whatever. So like some acts we still have to fight for them. Some battles we win, some battles we lose. So it's still challenging. Yeah.
Have you ever had to like cancel acts? Or
We have actually last year actually we did have one of our headliners which was supposed to come, but we had to cancel. I think if you compare to We The Fest, which is another festival in Jakarta, so We The Fest happens in the same weekend as Good Vibes Festival, and most of our lineups are, I would say, like similar, because so we book acts together.
All right.
For the acts to come and play both festivals at once. So if you compare our lineups, there is one like big act that is missing from Good Vibes Festival. So you can probably guess the artist that was not allowed to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When you said you booked together with the fest, which is Ismaya Live, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys share the cost, or like because they have two shows nearby together, it makes it easier to book the artist?
So basically, when you book an international act, right? Because they're coming all the way from the US or the UK, from the other side of the world, basically, it always makes more sense for you to offer them more shows on the run. So instead of, hey man, just come and play Good Vibes Festival, so you travel halfway around the world just to play one show and then go back. So obviously we partner up with Ismaya. We've done this for like a few years now, I think, like almost from the start. So we offer them two big festivals, and besides that, we also have like friends who are organizers and promoters around the region. So we also ask them, like, we're getting so and so for Good Vibes. Do you want to get them to do a show in, for example, like Singapore or Thailand as well? So ideally, the more shows we can offer, it doesn't necessarily mean the fee is lower, but it just means the artist is more likely to come.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How does a music festival help contribute to the local economy?
I mean, like it contributes in like so many ways. Firstly, when you have a music festival, like there's instantly jobs for like hundreds of people. Like you have the sound crew, setup crew, stage crew. You have photographers, videographers such as yourself, and then you have like everyone that works on the festival, such as like the Good Vibes Festival crew. So there's already like hundreds of people employed, and of course the local artists as well. Yeah.
How long do you guys usually like plan for a music festival?
So we are actually in a, I would say, like near constant state of planning. So ideally, like a year in advance. So basically, once we, for example, if we had Good Vibes Festival this year, after Good Vibes Festival, probably chill a bit, then you start planning for the next one right away. I mean, the bulk of the like planning, like all the like most intense operations planning and stuff, probably start about maybe around 6 months before. But before that, we're already like talking to artists, managers, and agents, just trying to plan the lineup ahead, because international artists, like the agents, they already plan their routing like way in advance, like up to 1 year in advance. So if we need to get in on that before they, like I can't be late and then suddenly we've already planned the routing for this period. So I want to get in early.
Cool. Okay. I think this one is pretty quite controversial one. You know how during the ticket sales, right?
Yeah.
You know how people always complain that the server is down. I don't know if it was your server or like Pouch Nation's server. Or I don't know if you can say names, but like, is there any reason why it always breaks down?
Actually,
just to clarify it
no
straight away.
So actually, right, if you are into like sneakers, right, then you'll be used to this kind of thing. Like for example, like
the raffle?
every time I did before like they even like started raffles and stuff, right? Every time Adidas or Nike drop, like Adidas drop the Yeezy, for example, or Nike drops like any Off-White collab, right? their website will always crash. It will always crash. And this is Adidas and Nike you're talking about, right? Like huge multinational corporations. Like it will always crash. Like a website will always crash when there are more people wanting to buy a product which is limited in number. So for example, tickets, right? Just for example, these aren't real numbers. For example, there's 2,000 early bird tickets.
Right.
But for example, there's 2,000 early bird tickets launching at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. And then when we check the website, right, on like at 9:45 a.m. or whatever, there's already like 10,000 people waiting. So there's 10,000 people trying to get to 2,000 tickets. The website, will crash. We're constantly working with our ticketing provider, trying to find out solutions for this. We were actually this year we were thinking of doing pre-registration. So if you want a chance to get early bird tickets, you pre-register or something, and then we have a limited amount of slots for pre-registration. So you pre-register, then you're more likely to be able to get early bird tickets. So stuff like that. We hear what everyone is saying. We understand. Unfortunately, that's always the case when the product is like so limited and like 10 times the amount of people want to get to that product. It will cause problems with the website, unfortunately. Yeah. But we are always trying to look for ways to get around this. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Understand that, guys? Because everybody always complain about this, and for myself, I just read the comments and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have nothing to say, right? Well, at least I have the answer now. So, okay, now, Good Vibes was cancelled this year in 2020, right? But was supposedly to have 3 days, right? And last year, you guys kind of reached the max cap already. I don't know if you guys have seen the video, but it's filled with people, right? Was that the goal before making it 3 days like Witherfest?
Was what the goal? Sorry.
Was it to max it out until 20,000 people, then make it 3 days, or?
We always wanted to go for 3 days, so it was only basically just a matter of time. And I think after last year when we sold out 20,000, this shows that we actually can go probably for 3 days, and there is demand for this. But actually now even festivals around the world are already on to 4 days. But I think let's chill first. Let's go 3 days. I also want to go back home and rest. So after we sold out last year, and okay, this is cool. So actually this year was supposed to be a big year for us. We're gonna go 3 days, and hopefully that because the festival is longer, so not everyone won't be just concentrated into just 1 day or 2 days. So you want to spread out a lot, but maybe a bit. And also we had a lot of plans to actually reconfigure the layout of the festival, make it more spacious, more easy for people to walk around and stuff. There was expansion plans for the main part of the festival. But yeah,
you're gonna expand further than the current layout?
So the current layout, the main area with the main stage and the food village. Yeah. So I think we were planning to expand it a big back.
Further back.
Further back, yeah.
Right.
So there's more space, and even electric fields. We were planning to rearrange the layout so that there would be more space. I can't see right now.
Yeah,
so so
awesome.
Hopefully we'll get to see that next year.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. All right. Okay. You guys have collaborated with Boiler Room last year, right? And then you have Netflix sponsoring you as well. Is there any other brands that you would like to bring on board and be part of this big festival here in Malaysia? So
actually this year we were supposed to collaborate on another brand. It's a European brand, kind of Boiler Room.
Okay.
They were called Elro. Yeah, Elro. So Elro was supposed to come and do an electric fields takeover.
Yeah.
So Elro is sick. Elro is this really fun party brand, and they have all these props and stuff. Yeah. So That would have been really good.
Yeah, that would be
this
fucking
year.
good.
So
Because in DWP last year, like I went to the Elro stage and it was damn amazing, right?
Yeah,
so to have it here in Malaysia would be amazing.
And it was an indoor stage, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so for Good Vibes it's been an outdoor stage, electric fields. So hopefully we're working on that. Hopefully we're working on that to happen next year as well. And we are always open to working with brands that we think are cool. Actually, interestingly, Boiler Room and Netflix were the ones who reached out to us to want to come into Good Vibes. So that was really cool. So I think, I mean, like, any brands out there who, who are cool, or you think you want to work with Good Vibes, or if Good Vibes, you think Good Vibes is a perfect fit for your brand, I mean, like, just reach out and we'd be happy to explore.
Yeah, Good Vibes is also like a very known brand already, and the demographic is very targeted to it's youngsters, and right. So I guess it's a very good place for brands to like put their name there. Yeah. Awesome, cool. Okay, for this is my question to you, not as a Good Vibes person, but like yourself, right? What's like your 3 like top festivals that I guess you try and imitate and try to aspire to be like them?
I think top 2 I can tell you right now
top
would be
3.
Yeah. So I'm just giving you the top 2 first, because these are probably tied for number 1.
All right. Okay.
Would be Coachella, of
Definitely.
course, and Fuji Rock Festival.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think Fuji Rock Festival is probably one of the best festivals in the world, and like the Japanese audience is just like, it's just really something else. They're all very like disciplined, and it's like I can go to the festival and leave my stuff in one spot, walk around like for hours, come back, my stuff will still be there.
Right.
You won't find any like trash on the ground or cigarette butts, and everyone is very clean. And the setting of the festival is like really nice. It's in the mountains, kind of like Good Vibes, which is like high up in the hills, but like Fuji Rock Festival has like a river running through the festival and stuff, so it's really beautiful.
What I heard, the stages are far from each other, right?
Yeah, they're far, so they're far, but it's an experience. So you walk through the jungle, you walk through streams, and then you reach a stage, and then in between the stages there's like food, there's like even a kids area. So
so it's all ages.
It's all ages. Yeah, I brought my son there when he was 2 years old. So yeah, it's all ages. It's a really amazing experience.
I think this is also a good question. Why is it Good Vibes is 18 plus? Do you think Malaysian kids are like irresponsible?
we used to start when it first started. It was all ages actually. Good Vibes. Yeah.
Okay.
Then 18 plus because of certain restrictions, I would say, with the brands that come into Good Vibes, and also like you also have like we have our drinking zone and stuff. So
right.
I think at the moment like we're keeping it 18 plus, so that we just want to keep everything, like we don't want to have any issues or trouble with authorities and stuff. So just like keep all above board, all 18 plus, so you don't have to worry about underage people.
Yeah, understood. Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. We've brought a lot of acts all this time, right? Since 2013, right? Who are like your top 3 acts that you really want to bring to Malaysia?
That I really want to bring?
Not just for Good Vibes, for all of your other events as well. That you
So you're
really
asking me
wanna...
personally? Because the acts that what I want to bring are not necessarily the acts that what people want to see. So yeah, because our target demographic for Good Vibes is
that's true.
Gen Z, dude. I'm like a few generations.
Okay. Let's put it specifically for Good Vibes and for the demographics.
Okay.
Based on what people are requesting, based on what people are commenting.
Right.
What look at my team. They are all like wanting to hear.
Okay, this is who I would love to bring lah, but not necessarily.
If you have all the resources,
all the budget lah,
all the budget and all the approval.
Arctic Monkeys. That's like everyone has been requesting that.
Correct. Me too, actually.
And we actually have been trying year after year, but they're just one of those acts that are like really big, and like dorang macam okay lah, if you want to come we come, if you don't want, I mean they're fine if they don't
I mean they're there, right?
They are big enough to they don't have to tour all the time, that's what I'm saying. and they don't do all the time,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So Arctic Monkeys is one.
You have all the same ages. Yeah.
Drake,
All right. Yeah.
you know,
Definitely.
if I could. And one more would probably be, I mean, this is just a personal choice, which I think would be like super iconic because they haven't been touring in years, but Daft Punk.
Ooh.
But that one is lagi impossible lah, so.
Yeah. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Your top 3 will probably come, but we'll never know.
Please don't like raise anyone's hope. I'm not saying they'll probably come. They're like a wish list. Right?
Yeah, but see, they are already on the list. It's just that some things may or may not happen only. Because I think a lot of people want this to happen. Because I think a lot of people request all these names as well. Just that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, one more would be Billie Eilish.
Oh, that's
that one is also
that'd be
like
crazy.
Huge amount of requests.
Do you think there's a reason why all of these youngsters are requesting for these names?
For these names specifically, or
These names. Okay, let's just take Billie Eilish. Do you have any?
I mean, she's huge, like globally. I mean, I think she's like, you know, probably one of the like biggest pop stars in the world right now.
Her songs are depressing.
I guess it's something that you know, it's Generation Z kids that they relate with. They relate to her, and I think she is pretty cool. I mean, I think she's subverting a lot of expectations that you would have from a female pop star. For example, she doesn't like, you know, she just wears what she wants.
Correct.
She doesn't, you know, wear like, you know, tight clothing. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's fine if that's the way you want to go. But she's just like, you know, fuck this, like, you know, I'll just wear what I want, like, you know, and you know, a lot of people think it's cool. So I think, you know, it's something different. Also, another act would be Travis Scott.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's probably the biggest rapper in the world right now.
Yeah. Drake and Travis Scott, if those two were the headliners, damn, man.
Yeah. I mean, Drake would have a bit more mass appeal, I think. But yeah.
Travis Scott will jump off the stage. The guys will have a lot of trouble. Okay, that was talking about you had all the resources and the acts that you would bring.
Right.
What about things that you would add to the festival?
I mean, the thing right now is we are constrained by space. So we cannot add a lot more things as well. If you want to, even if you want to. Sorry. So like you saw last year, right? It was already packed. Like,
correct.
So if we had more stuff in it, then it would be even more packed.
Yeah.
So we can't add too much stuff. And I wouldn't say there's no space to expand at all, but it's limited. Actually, what we would love to add, and what we were actually working on, is like, you know, to have a bigger food area, just so that, you know, it's easier for people to eat and have food and chill and line up and stuff. Just a bigger space there. Probably add one more stage.
Ooh.
If there's space.
And what stage would that be?
I mean, I'm not at liberty to say right now, but
okay.
Yeah, we have plans.
All right.
Future plans lah, hopefully.
Knowing that Genting is it's a nice space, but it's also very kind of like far from the city, and then once you're up there, that is only as much space that you can play with. What was the reason behind moving the festival from Sepang all the way up to the hills?
Genting had been like reaching out to us and asking, like, you know, if you wanted to do anything in that area, and then there was one day we did go up and see, and like, you know, we really liked it. It was just, I mean, like the ideal spot for any festival would be like, you know, just a green space, huge wide green space, trees and stuff. So that's exactly what Genting had and what Sepang did not have. So we
Sepang
decided,
is probably hot.
yeah, it's like super hot as well, and the vibe is different lah. Genting is a bit cool. So I mean, then we could see, like, you know, we could just like make Good Vibes into like a whole like a weekend experience. Is a getaway basically,
right.
You know, like, you know, you get away from the hustle and bustle of the city, you know, go up to Genting, go to the festival, just, you know, take a weekend break. Yeah. So we moved away from it being like a city festival, for example.
Is there any plans to create a new brand of music festival, or are you guys just solely focusing on Good Vibes Festival?
I mean, we're always
Looking for new ways.
open and like looking for new things, building new experiences. We had like quite a lot of plans actually this year, but with everything that's happened, is affected everyone. So some stuff has been shelved for now, but hopefully, like if anything happens, you'll be first to know.
oh, that's cool. All right. Okay. Is it any way possible to have like more festivals in Malaysia? Not just from you, but like from other event organizers as well.
What do you mean by is it possible?
Because we don't see it around.
Right.
The only music festival for my kind of people, my peers at least, it's only Good Vibes Festival.
Right.
And so I think we want more.
Right. I mean, we would definitely welcome more festivals. A lot of people might think that, you probably don't want anyone competing with you, but I think, healthy competition is good.
Yes.
And like, it's better for the consumer as well. You have a lot of choice, and it also brings up the whole scene.
Yeah.
Brings up the whole scene, the whole festival scene. We did have urbanscapes. We still do have urbanscapes, although they've kind of like they've evolved into like a city festival, not really an outdoor music festival. But yeah, like I said before, like it's not easy starting a music festival. So like even with Good Vibes, the first few years, like you have to be prepared to like probably like not make any money or lose money, and not lose just a bit of money, like a substantial amount of money.
Correct.
I mean, if you're lucky, then cool, you can make money on the first try, but I think that's hard lah. So first you have to start it, you have to build your brand, and then you also have the challenges here, like you have to work with authorities and make sure that you follow all the rules and stuff. So it's not easy. So I guess I don't know. Hopefully, people do try. And I think there are festivals, like local festivals actually. Like there's one that Northern Music Festival, and there's the one in Penang.
Yeah, the Penang one.
So those festivals.
Then there's one in like Kuching, the Jazz Fest and whatnot.
Yeah. But I think if what you mean is International Music Festival, I mean it's quite a tough, uphill battle. Yeah, so you also then need to pay all these international acts. You need the funding as well. So it's not easy to come.
I think a lot of your fans, like the Good Vibes fans, should also like be thankful enough to like have a brand, a company to be very patient and resilient enough to like bring all of these acts and make it all happen, because it's definitely not an easy game, and a lot of people don't understand that. Like they keep on complaining, but
I mean that's part and parcel of like I think anything you do, like if you have a presence anywhere, like on social media or whatever. But I think the thing to remember is the people who do have like negative comments, I think they are probably a minority. I hope, because when people have complaints, they leave comments. But when you're like super happy, right, you rarely leave comments. Like if
you don't leave compliments.
You don't leave compliments. Like for example, like if you go to a festival, for example, and you're like, super happy, you're not gonna go on the social media and say, "Hey man, I had a really great time." I mean, like some do, which we always appreciate, because it makes me feel that we've done a good job. But I think most people, like even like when you go to like stay in a hotel and stuff, right, you don't email them and say, "Hey dude, I had a really good stay." You don't. But when you have something to complain about, you say, "Hey man, like my room was dirty and stuff." So I think that's why like you learn to accept all these criticisms, and we also like we also want to hear you out. We see what you're saying. A lot of you may think that you complain and stuff, and like you probably might think that we don't listen to it, but we do. There's a lot of changes and stuff that we do implement in Good Vibes Festival, which is a direct response to the comments and criticisms that we've gotten from festival goers.
We are reaching towards the end of the podcast already. So before we go, where do you think our Malaysian music scene will go in the next 5 years? Because if you ask me, right, you see like Indonesian, right? That's like the, I don't want to compare Singapore because Singapore is kind of like a fucking first world country already. But like Indonesia and Malaysia, I think it's always been compared to. And Indonesia has a lot more music festivals like La 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 La, DWP, With the Fest and stuff like that. They even have Ultra Bali, right? So where do you think Malaysia's music scene will go in the next 5 years? Or what do you hope to see in the next 5 years?
I mean, I think if you want to compare to Indonesia, right, like even cities like Jakarta and stuff, they have, even if you compare the population, so they have like way more people. So that's like a way bigger market. So obviously, every time you have a bigger market, then it's easier for you to grow something because you have that much more people to invest into it. And if I know you said Singapore is a first world country or whatever, but I think I think it's worth taking a look at Singapore and what they've done. It's like their government really invests a lot in the entertainment scene, in the music scene. The government funds a lot of stuff. For example, during the MCO, Singapore, Zouk did like a live stream, right, with Diplo and stuff, which was actually funded by the government.
Oh.
Yeah, the Singapore government. So they actually pump in money to make sure that the music scene, the entertainment scene stays alive. So I think it would be great if we also can see that kind of support from our government. I know that the government right now probably has like other priorities, and entertainment and music is probably not seen as a high priority at the moment, which is understandable. But I hope they understand that because of this whole MCO thing, people in this scene, like me, like you, we are like struggling because there's no events, no jobs, and I think it is an important aspect and part of the culture, right? Music, entertainment. That's what you live for. I think in the next 5 years, I don't know. I think talent-wise, I think we're fine. I think I think
the talent pool will grow a lot.
Yeah, we have grown a lot. Like a lot of people say that like Malaysia is always like left out when like huge acts come.
Is there a reason why they are always left out? Is there no promoters to bring them in, or?
There are promoters, but you have to understand that these acts cost a lot of money.
Right.
So Singapore has like
currency
is higher, so they can always like afford to. But I mean that being said, I think we've improved in that aspect. We've had Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, so those are some of the biggest acts in the world. So I think hopefully in the future, if we can get over this whole COVID phase, the music industry will bounce back stronger. We have enough talent, enough shows and festivals by us, and also from other organizers, that will bounce back stronger, and the world will pay attention. I mean, as it is now, they're already looking at Asia, Southeast Asia as an emerging and growing market. With huge companies like Live Nation already having a presence in Malaysia and Singapore. So it shows that we are grabbing that attention. So I think that can only mean good things.
All right. Thank you for your time today. Keep doing what you do.
No worries. Thanks for having me on, Rizq.
All good. All right. Thank you guys for joining us in the second episode of the Inspo Depot podcast, and I'll see you guys again in the next one.
Thank you.
All right.